Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us for our Ramp Rally call tonight. Woo! You made it through the first week. Tonight we're going to be talking about nutrition, food, and I know for this first week, when I first started, food was one of the biggest changes in my life. I had never started any sort of diet or followed any sort of nutrition plan, and I was not a cook at all. And it was hugely intimidating. So fortunately, over the last several years, I've kind of found some shortcuts that don't require being a gourmet chef and help to get the job done. So I wanted to kind of share those with you. But I wanted to first check in with each of you just to see how things went for you and your food choices, and see if there are any challenges that you had. So I want to start with Julia, because I know we had our pre-show interview.
So
On the pump. Just share with us kind of a bit about what you shared with me earlier.
Sure. Eye-opening, my first week, very eye-opening. Things that I thought were kind of harmless or little cheat things that I thought I could get away with. No. Dunkin' Donuts old-fashioned donut, 350 calories. What a big surprise that was. Should have checked it before I ate it, but I'm going to have to figure out there's not going to be a Friday donut day any longer. And then going out to eat is really difficult. I'm having a hard time, because Fridays and Saturdays I do like to go out to eat, and it was just challenging to try to figure out what to eat, at restaurants. But overall, I think that my breakfast Shakeology, my lunches are easy to manage. There's a fresh salad bar near my office. But, the snacks, I'm having a hard time with the snacks. I don't know what to snack on. I have a pretty long commute from home to work. So if I don't snack on something, I leave the office at 5:30. I get home by 6:30, maybe 7 o'clock. And then I'm just ravenous because I haven't had, I eat lunch about noon. I leave the office at 5:30 or 6. I don't get home till 7 or 7:30. If I'm not eating something, I'm absolutely starving. And when you get at that point where you're so hungry, it doesn't matter if you have a good meal. Nothing is going to satisfy you. And that's what I have found, is that I would go to bed hungry a lot because I was like trying to stay very close to my caloric intake for the day. But because I would go 5 or 6 hours without eating, I was going to bed hungry and miserable. And a couple of nights I was just, to my partner and to my girls, I'm like, Mom, I was really hungry. I don't like this. but I stuck with it because I was within, the calorie. I need to figure out some kind of bridge between, I eat lunch at noon or 12:30 and then I don't eat dinner till 7 o'clock. I've got to do something in between. So I'm not home and so extremely hungry. So that's pretty much how my week went.
Yeah. You bring up a lot of really great points, but two in particular, I think that a lot of us can identify with, is eating out and then snacking. And I mean, you're listening to your body. You know that 7 hours is too long to go without food, especially during the day. When you're up and you're working and you're burning a lot of calories. So yeah, I think that's huge. And the snacks need to be something that are going to help you to feel good, and help you to also be really efficient with your food. So nothing that requires a lot of prep. I know for me, cutting up fresh veggies is so easy to take with me, and they carry throughout the day. And because they have so much fiber in them, they actually do make me feel fuller than one would think. So like carrying carrots, cutting up peppers, broccoli, cucumber is so good. Or, even some fruit as well. Like I'll have, bring an apple. We're kind of getting out of like watermelon season, but that's so good as well. But carrying like fruits and vegetables is a really great snack that's going to keep all day. Like it's not going to be meat or sometimes cheese. Like if you pack a string cheese, it gets kind of gross by the afternoon if it's not refrigerated. Another thing is nuts. almonds, walnuts, or seeds, sunflower seeds, things like that. They keep really well. You do have to watch out for your portions, though, because while they have really good fats in them, they're also pretty high in calorie. So it's important that you don't go crazy with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a really good option that will help you feel satiated. And then the third thing that works for me is just making sure that I'm hydrated throughout the day as well. So what I'll do even before I have any sort of food is I'll drink like an entire glass of water. And I'll do that 15, 20 minutes before I'm about to eat. So it makes sure that I'm hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
It also kind of fills the stomach a little bit and primes the digestion.
Yeah, I did notice I was very parched all week long. And I think it was the addition of the workouts in the morning, which, again, is another thing that I found eye-opening, is that I can force myself to get up and do it a half an hour when I'm accountable to it, the group, and I know I have to kind of check in with everyone. It's like I forced myself to do it, and that was surprising too, because I never was a morning workout person, but I just I forced myself to do it. But I am so thirsty every day. I felt like I was parched every morning. I got up parched, so I do have to force myself to drink more water.
Did you keep track of how much water you took in?
I tried, I do try, but my day in the office is so busy that, 3 hours will fly by. And again, that's why it's important for me to have some kind of snack on my way home, because the afternoon will fly so fast that I won't have time to snack. I won't have time to drink. It's like I almost have to put some kind of buzzer on my phone to remind me to have a glass of water, or I won't drink, or I won't eat all afternoon. And I'll go 7 hours, 6 hours without eating. And then that's where I feel like where the weight gain has come in, because I'll sit down at a meal and I'm so hungry, and then I eat so fast because I've literally starved myself all day. So So again, that's an adjustment that I'm going to have to work into. And eating right, exercising, and then just timing your eating. I didn't realize that was kind of part of it too.
Yeah.
So.
These first couple of weeks are all about just a realization.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Discovery.
So it was good. It was a good week. Learned a lot about myself. So.
Yeah, that's good. And then about eating out, of course it depends on where you're eating out, but just about every place is going to have salad options. So you're usually pretty safe with that. Dressing on the side, getting a side salad, and eating all of your greens first.
Yeah.
Before getting into the other food that might be kind of on the lower food quality. So that you're not ravenous for food. I think that also helps.
Yeah.
Appetizers.
Another issue of mine is if my kids don't finish their meal, I'll finish it for them. I need to not do that. I'd say the whole wasting of food, I just need to not do that. So.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And plates don't have to be clean.
I know.
Especially if you're going out to eat. The portion sizes are 3 or 4 times the size of what a portion actually is. So good discoveries.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. And no, thank you for really sharing that. It's very generous, and I think a lot of us can really relate to that. I'm curious to know, what other challenges did you guys face? I know Steve and you and I talked a lot about the nutrition plan, and you wish that there were some more options for you.
Yeah, I feel that the nutrition plan that came with the P90 just it's too limited. You're just supposed to eat the 6 meal choices, 6 recipes for each meal of the day, and then several recipes for snack, and that's all you're supposed to eat. And I just looked at that, and I don't know, it's a combination of that's it, and the fact that I would have to cook and prepare every single meal. It may be just well, I can't even follow this, so I'm just going to try to eat better. But I think I ate better this week than usual. I made some better choices, um, but I need to figure something out for something that's closer maybe what comes with the other programs in terms of giving you the options. um, and I mean, making a plan helps. I mean, I think what they're trying to do is just keep it really simple for us so that we just say, oh, we just eat this, but somehow it became more of a burden almost to look at that. And I just don't have the time to sit and literally prepare and cook every meal. And I don't necessarily know that I want those 6 meal choices every single meal for 90 days.
Yeah.
And like that. So, consequently, my meal choices were not that great. But if I look back at every meal and look at, what I did compared to what I did the week before, then I think it was better because I normally have like a breakfast burrito almost every day for breakfast. So this week I had Shakeology, like at 6:30 or 7, and then I had just a couple hard-boiled eggs at like 9:30 or 10 instead of, one day I did have a breakfast sandwich. I had like pho for almost every day for lunch this week because just because I was feeling sick. So it's like a soup kind of seemed like a good idea. I don't know how good. I feel like pho's healthy, but then it does have a lot of noodles, and it's not necessarily a lot of vegetables. Um, so I don't know. It was definitely challenging because I have other food issues that are kind of deep,
Mm-hmm.
stuff that may be a little bit deeper than what the average person has to deal with, where it becomes an addiction and replacing, it's emotional eating, and there's stuff that I shared with you that I don't necessarily know that I want to share with the whole group that I struggle with, and
Sure.
so yeah. But I'm also aware that all this exercise isn't going to do any good if I don't get the eating, if I don't bring it in line. So
Yeah, and just like we were talking about, Julia and I were talking about, this week is really all about discovery. And, we all start in different places. And I think it's just so important to just really acknowledge where we're starting from and just celebrate even, the few steps that you're taking in the right direction. If you feel like you didn't follow your plan 100% in this first week, um, that's okay. If you feel like you had a better week this week than last week, that is fantastic. And the goal is that each week you're being able to have an even better week than the week before. But as far as the whole idea of the P90 nutrition plan, they're going for simplicity, and what you're really feeling is that it's very limiting. I want to go ahead and give you some additional resources just so you can see that you have other options.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, and I'm gonna prep a meal that I create that I think is pretty easy to do. Because I'm with you. Like, cooking is not something that I get super fancy with, and I work sometimes 90, 100 hours a week, and I don't have time to prep.
Yeah.
6 meals every single day.
Exactly.
So yeah, I totally understand that, and let's see how this next week goes, and we'll stay connected, and hopefully make a few more good choices for you. So, but I do want to send to you. I'll just probably take a screenshot and post it in your ramp. Some of the food lists that come with some of the other programs, so that you can see.
That's good.
For example, like, what are the best fruits to eat? What are the best veggies to eat? What are the best starches to eat, and proteins, and things like that. I know you took Nietzsche's ladder in your plan, which is great, but I think these food lists might be a little bit easier to work with.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So
exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to eat the same 6 meals for 3 months either. So we will do that tonight. Any other questions, guys? I know, Greg, you were at the mercy of the hospital food. I'm curious to know how that went for you.
The good thing, I mean, about being here is the fact that I can completely focus on this.
Mm-hmm.
So, when they give me my meal, I put everything in that they've got on the tray, and then I subtract. Okay, well, this one isn't good in nutrients, so I'm not going to eat that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, sometimes, I'm left with eggs and oatmeal for breakfast, and, that's not even a half a cup of eggs or half a cup of oatmeal. But, one of the nurses, I asked her to go buy me some fruit, so she did that. And so, like I said, I've just been able to focus. I mean, what my biggest thing is I'm always amazed at like noon. Like how the hell did I already get to 1,000 calories? I mean, so that's where, because I am keeping up with the calories pretty stringently. So that's what's fascinating me now, because it's kind of like, all right, I'm already at 1,000 calories, or I'm already at 1,200, or whatever it might be, and compared to what I used to eat, heck, I'd not even touch it. So I was probably at like 10,000 calories a day before. I don't know.
Wow.
So it's eye opening, and I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I have all the time in the world right now to focus on it, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat laboratory experiment for you.
Yeah, except when they give me like French fries and a hamburger for lunch, and I'm just like, no. So.
It's baffling. You think doctors would actually give you healthy food?
Well, and I'm on the heart healthy diet here, so I don't understand exactly some of the food choices. They gave us a burrito the other night. Luckily, I had a friend come over and they brought food, but it was like cheese and refried beans, and then seriously about the size you would get at Chipotle. It was a very large burrito, and I'm like, okay, this has got to be like 600, 700 calories, if not more.
At least, yeah, and most of it's going to be fat.
Yeah, exactly.
So. I heard a friend of mine who's a nurse, she just told me that 3 flour tortillas is the equivalent of an entire loaf of white bread.
Oh my gosh.
Like, because it has so much lard. And wow. Crazy. So
that's why when I go to that's why when I go to Chipotle, I never get the flour tortilla. I always get a bowl.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I went to Chipotle too this afternoon, and it was glorious. And I get the salad, which is the same thing as the bowl, but just kind of upside down. So yes, get the tortilla.
That's really it for me. I've been able to work out. I think I've shared in the group, I'm sometimes a 25-minute workout takes me 45 minutes because I'm rewinding, and, even though sometimes I'm doing the modifier because I can't do what the group is doing, I still have to watch her a couple times. And like I said, in that one post, sometimes they're moving on to the next exercise, and I just figured out what they're doing with that other one. So I'll go back and do it. But again, it's the luxury of time at the moment. So
yeah.
Unlike you and Julia and everybody else working 90 hours a week.
Well, I mean, that's good. And just to kind of put it out there, if you don't have the time to pause and rewind your DVD, it is okay to take a break and let the DVD go on without you, and then join in when you're ready. Like, that is a perfectly acceptable way to do it. And then the next week, when you come back to that same workout, you're going to find that you'll be able to do just a little bit more. So that's really good. Anything else, guys, about food? Any questions or challenges that you've been having? How about anything that you just feel like has been working for you? What's been really, really good?
Shakeology.
The Shakeology. Do you?
Shakeology is just kind of seeming to be really amazing, and really, there's. I mean, I don't know. I've had more energy, and I attribute that certainly to the exercise, but I have a feeling that Shakeology is playing into that too. And like I said, it just sort of makes me feel, I don't know, like when I haven't been eating as good, like it seems to have more consequence or something. Or like one day I went out to lunch and I got just something I would like a kind of a quantity and a type of thing I would maybe normally get. It was just like a ham sandwich and potato salad, and afterward I felt like, oh my god, I am too full. I mean, like uncomfortably, like that was just too much. Like I should have just not had the potato salad at least. Or I don't know. It's like more awareness. My body is making me more aware of like when it's not happy with the poor choices or something. And I just feel like that's coming from the Shakeology. I'm getting that really incredible nutrition in me, and everything that it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's filling, and I think it clears my skin. It's kind of strange, but I'm terrible about taking my makeup off every night. And I noticed that I'm not getting as many breakouts because I've been consistently having it. And so I think it's because of the vitamins in it. And it's also because you're drinking it, and I always mix it with water. It's an additional glass of water, and I throw ice in it too. So I think it's just, it's a good product. And I'm allergic to soy. So some of the other drinks I've tried, like the Body by V and a couple other ones, had put me in the emergency room. So because I am allergic to soy, the soy protein shakes. So I really like the Shakeology. It tastes good and it's filling, and it, I think it's got a lot of good vitamins in it. So
yeah, and who doesn't love clearer skin?
I know. Me. Yay.
I was about to say you look radiant tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, yesterday I was coming back from Lake Geneva, and I got in a little after midnight, and I didn't take my Shakeology with me for that day. So I was like, uh-oh, I didn't have my Shakeology. And I went ahead and I had my Shakeology at like 12:30 a.m. Because I don't know, I craved it. And I just knew like the next day I would feel so much better. Well, good. Well, hey, let me go ahead and just walk you through a really simple meal prep.
Yes, I love you. I love you.
Oh, yes. Doggy.
Thanks, Flo.
Okay, I'm going to take you with me through the house.
I hope you cleaned.
Don't make us dizzy.
Vertigo.
Okay, let's see how this goes. Welcome to my kitchen. Hi. Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna actually go. Let's see, speaker view. Now let's do gallery view. There we go. Okay. So I wanted to show you a real quick meal prep that I do. I can do this for lunch or for dinner, and it's pretty easy. And actually, I'm just going to kind of like talk you through it. So essentially what I have is I'm using coconut oil like this. I got this from GNC, and I'll just spoon into my pan. Boom. 1 teaspoon of that, and I've been cooking with coconut oil instead of olive oil because I just learned this week that you're not supposed to cook with olive oil. And actually, when you heat it, it can turn into it destabilizes and releases some free radicals, and that can actually be carcinogenic. So that's no good. So I've been cooking with coconut oil. There's my dog.
Oh.
And actually, I really like the flavor. Like it kind of has like a buttery flavor to it too, so that's really nice. So what I'll do is, if I need some veggies, then I use frozen veggies. I know like the best veggies are like the ones that you're licking off the ground because they're fresh. But just to be kind of realistic with I think all of our busy schedules and just kind of upkeep of food, I use frozen veggies. Sometimes I'll actually mix them in with some fresh veggies, but you can get, everything in the freezer aisle. So instead of microwaving the frozen veggies, I'll actually put them in a pan and I'll just heat them up that way. If I want a starch, I've been getting these organic sweet potatoes. They're like small sweet potatoes, and I'll just chop them up into little, I guess, dice it. And then we have been getting these chicken breasts from our grocery store, and they are already pre-marinated. And at the grocery store, they even like grill it up for you. So if you don't have a grocery store that already grills for you, then you can actually grill it yourself, or you can just buy pre-grilled chicken. And so I will take this, and I'll just take a chicken breast, and I will like shred it and toss it into the pan as well. One little trick for adding extra flavor, if you don't want to add a lot of extra extra sauces that can have a lot of extra sugar and high fructose corn syrup, is I've been using salsa to add into, it's kind of like a stir fry basically. So I'll just put some of that in, and this is a peach mango salsa, which is delicious. So I'll just put that in the pan as well. Occasionally I will add some almonds as well and throw that in, or maybe some sunflower seeds. And I'll literally just heat it up for maybe 5 to 7 minutes. And then on the plate, I get bag lettuce, or it comes in a box, and I literally just get a handful of that, throw it on the plate, and then I throw the veggies and the meat on top of the lettuce, and it fills the entire plate. It's delicious. I've controlled all of my food portions. If I want to add any other spices, I can do that. So there's, you can do some black pepper, you can do some crushed red pepper, which is really good. The crushed red pepper, like what you put on your pizzas, it has a chemical in it called capsaicin that that increases your metabolism. Garlic powder, I use a lot of garlic powder as well, and some cumin sometimes, depending on whatever is in the spice cabinet. But that's kind of like a base that I'll use, and sometimes I'll add different kinds of veggies, or I'll marinate the chicken in a different way, or add different spices. Or I'll add like a fresh clove of garlic, something like that. So that is like a baseline, super easy lunch or dinner, and it takes less than 10 minutes to do. So I'm curious to know, does that sound like something that you guys have done, or that you can do?
Yeah.
Thumbs up. It's pretty basic. Steve, are you with us? I see the ceiling. Oh yeah, there's the Steve hand.
So Michael, you just use the coconut oil just for the veggies then, or?
I put the coconut oil in the pan, and I'll heat it up so it liquefies. Coconut oil at room temperature is actually solid.
Oh, okay.
Like this.
Okay.
So I'll get my teaspoon, which is right here, and I'll scoop out a little ball. And then when you heat it up, it turns into a liquid.
Yeah.
And that's what I use as the oil for the veggies and for the meat. And I just kind of put everything all together.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Julie, are you trying to talk? You're muted.
Does the coconut oil taste like coconut? So does it change the flavor of your food?
I am not a huge coconut flavor fan. And I was actually surprised that the coconut oil doesn't really make it taste like coconut. It actually gives more of a buttery flavor.
Okay. Could you use that in other types of stir fry, or like if you're frying up some eggs or something? Or, I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah, you can use it for any kind of cooking or baking. And
Okay.
it's one of the more stable oils that you can heat.
Mhm.
Other than coconut oil, avocado oil is really good. Hemp oil is really good.
I'm sorry, you're kind of breaking up. What kind of oil besides coconut?
Avocado oil
Oh, okay.
and hemp oil is really good as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So in general, like if you stay away from cooking with olive oil or cooking with like vegetable oil, which is canola oil, which turns into trans fat, which is like one of the big things that cause inflammation, and that's what's going to make your skin break out, and your muscles won't repair as well. So as far as cooking goes, if you're not going to cook with the oil, then definitely go with olive oil. That's it's a great oil to use if you're not cooking. So you can drizzle that over a salad. If you're looking for a dressing, sometimes I'll just drizzle a little bit of olive oil and then crack some pepper on the salad, and it gives a nice flavor to it.
I have a question because you had mentioned, or somebody mentioned using coconut oil for scrambled eggs, which made me think about breakfast. And for cooking oatmeal, like somebody said that there's a really good way of cooking it, a lot of it at once. So you basically make it for the week, and then you can like just microwave it each day. Like, is that something you're familiar with?
It is not. My first reaction would be that's gross. Just because oatmeal tends to kind of get really gummy even after like an hour or so. So I'm curious if you find out how to do that, share with us.
Yeah. Or something I've had issues with is cooking steel cut oat. Like it always seems to really coat the pan or the pot, and so I don't really know how to cook it.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of how it is. I don't know if there's a way to get around that as far as like sticking to the pan or the pot. It always does that for me.
Okay. So I'll just use regular oatmeal then.
Yeah, like old fashioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For my oats, I actually will add that to my Shakeology, but I'll do it uncooked. So it's super quick in the morning. However, if you do decide to do uncooked, hold on, I'm getting my dogs out. If you do decide to do uncooked oatmeal, just know that the portion size is half of what it would be cooked. I was making that mistake.
Did you use steel cutting?
Say it again.
Did you put steel cutting in your Shakeology?
It was old-fashioned oats.
Okay. The press.
Yeah. Doggy. So, good. Any other questions or life hacks that have been working for you for food? You got it. So we have our breakfast set. Most of us are doing Shakeology for breakfast. For lunch and dinner, if you're going out, definitely go for the salads, dressings on the side. For snacks, fresh cut veggies and fruit and some nuts are really good. If you have the option to use a refrigerator, string cheese is fine if you're all right with dairy. And then, just these easy kinds of stir fry. Any combination of veggies and a protein, and you add some starches. I know I've kind of lived on that 90-second rice. Uncle Ben's, you throw it in the microwave and it's ready in a minute and a half. I think if if you talk about like what's the best, healthiest food to eat, you're always going to have a give and take between the foods that are the absolute best for you and the foods that you are able to incorporate in your life. And, obviously, if we could all, move to some tropical island that had like virgin soil with the best nutrition, then that would be the best. Unfortunately, a lot of the ingredients in Shakeology are actually from those locations, so we're kind of getting that already. But for the rest of our food, we do the best we can with our lifestyle. So that's why, I do incorporate some frozen veggies along with fresh veggies. I do some organics, but I don't do organics for everything. Basically, if you're going to eat the outside of the vegetable or fruit, then organic is a better choice. So like organic carrots are a better choice. But for bananas, it's not as much of a difference since you peel it. So I think it's all about just gradually getting more and more aware of what you can do, what's working for you, and comparing that to where your target is, and just getting closer and closer each day.
I think I'm gonna going back to what Julia was asking.
It's kind of coming in.
Okay. Going back to what Julian asked about late night cravings and stuff like that. A couple of months ago, we talked about celery. It's basically an empty calorie food. I know that I where I'm definitely hungry, and the stock of celery will definitely help.
Mm-hmm.
Do we ever decide is that a good substitute? Michael?
Yeah. I mean, celery is it actually nets as negative calories because it takes your body more energy to break it down and to digest it than it actually gives you. So celery is like a fantastic option. Cucumber is also a really good option for that. Watermelon is good for that. Mushrooms are good for that as well. But the great thing about celery is that it is so fibrous, and that's actually going to make you feel fuller than if you're eating something that's like that's really mushy that doesn't have any fiber in it. Yeah, technically, fruits and veggies are carbohydrates, but because they have the fiber in them, they're going to take longer to digest, which is exactly what you want for carbohydrate.
Yeah. I'm just curious, Julia, do you like celery? Are you okay with celery?
It's kind of gross. Like it with peanut butter or cheese. But cucumbers, I like cucumbers.
Yep.
So.
You could pour a little bit of lime, squeeze a little bit of lime juice on the cucumber, and that's really good.
Yep.
Do you do that, Steve?
Well, no, that's cool. If I had celery, that's how I would have it.
Sorry, it was just cutting out.
I know it's doing. We all seem to be doing it. Sorry. It's feedback.
Were you putting your vote toward cucumbers?
Cucumbers, yeah. I like cucumbers.
Yeah, all those vegetables that are basically made of water, like celery and cucumbers, are nobody got fat eating too many cucumbers. Nobody got obese by eating too much celery.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to the cucumbers and some vinegar. That makes them a lot better.
Exactly. Yeah. And as far as like peanut butter goes or cheese goes, it's fine to have as long as you incorporate that, like keep that in mind within what you're eating throughout the day. So if you're like, I know I need to get my peanut butter fix at night because that's just like it feels so good to do that. Then take that into account earlier in the day with what you're eating, so that you can feel good about having that peanut butter, rather than feeling guilty about it. Good. Well, guys, sounds like you had a revealing first week, and Austin, you are getting close to the end, right?
Yes and no. Last week was a little difficult for me. So I'm pretty much in the early part of week 6, even though this coming week is the 7th week.
Ah, okay. So are you gonna redo a week then?
I'm just going in order of the workout.
Okay.
So I'm on Tuesday of week 6 or something like that.
Okay. Sounds good. Since you are one of the more seasoned people in the group here, and then I also want to hear from Chris because he recently just finished. Let's actually kind of close today with what are some of the victories that you've noticed, for those of you who are a little bit further into the programs. Austin, how about for you? What are you noticing that you didn't have or didn't know or weren't like in the very beginning?
Over the past 2 weeks, I haven't necessarily noticed anything. But I noticed that quite a bit in the first 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, I lost 6 pounds pretty often.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there were other things, but I'm getting a lot of feedback, so I'm getting really thrown off by hearing my own voice come like 3 seconds after I'm speaking.
Oh, okay. It is coming through clearly on this side. So, yeah, let's see.
Not for everybody.
Okay. Hopefully the recording will be clear. Go ahead and mute yourself if you're not talking also. Let me mute myself too. Here, if I mute myself, Austin, you go ahead and talk and see if that's better.
Yeah, that's a lot better. I also noticed that this was after 2 weeks that I was able to fit into my pants a lot better. And on both of my belts, I've been able to go to the second notch, which is really awesome. That's all I can remember. Last week was a really tough week, so I'm sort of remembering that the most. One more thing is that a lot of the exercises, or some of them, are getting easier for me. So that's really nice.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. I remember at the very beginning, you were really struggling with some of the form and some of the exercises, and it's good to know that you're getting the hang of that. So finish strong.
I think the one thing I would probably still struggle with is 3-point balance, but in the workouts I've been doing recently, none of them have really incorporated that. I think it was in the first lower body workouts, and over the past 2 or 3 weeks, they haven't had that exercise in it. So I don't know if I would find it any easier or not.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, yeah, there are some moves that I can almost never do either. But we get the benefit. But I'm glad that you're seeing progress in some of these other areas. That's really great. Chris, how about for you? You just finished Body Beast, and you posted a picture. Amazing. I'd love to just hear from you, and if you have any like tips or advice for those who are earlier in their programs, what would you say?
Listen to Michael. You're the one that told. Yeah. It's totally it. Well, I know. First, thank you. The food is important. I mean, I think that's the largest difference between what I was doing before and what I was doing now. And maybe a little bit more of letting someone else decide what the exercises are. We always tend to think we know best. But we tend to favor the exercises that we like. Nobody would want to do legs or as many certain difficult exercises, but when you follow someone else's advice, it works. I think for me the biggest surprise was my back. Actually, I was too busy, too obsessed with improvements on the areas I could see that I hadn't even thought about areas I couldn't see. And it wasn't until I got pictures of my back that I said, oh, well, that's improved. And the bonus that came with that is I no longer have back pain when I'm in bed. I think my spine is not anymore the lowest thing on the bed, because it used to be my spine protruded quite a bit, being thin a lot. And it's more protected. So I really don't have any back pain anymore. So that's incredible. It was fun. But yeah, listen to Michael. Listen to your coach for sure. They know what they're talking about.
And whenever you need a coach that's really mean, listen to Jesse. Yeah. And sometimes there's going to be times when we hear some check-ins of somebody saying like, hey, I didn't get my workout in today, or I tried to eat as well as I could, and I'm going to come in there and I'm going to say, I recommend that you follow your program, that you do what you can, do your best to get it in, because I don't want you to be disappointed at the end of your of the 3 months or the 2 months. The time is going to pass regardless, and the journey that you started is a journey of making different choices than the one that led you to the place that you wanted to leave. So sometimes it's not going to feel good, or it's not going to feel natural. Of course, we try to make it as fun and interactive and supportive as possible. But honestly, there are going to be times when it just feels crappy and you don't want to do it. But you have to rely on, just the fact that you've made the choice to do this for yourself. And, I think Jesse is really great about helping everybody remember, like, you're doing this for you. And he writes this in all caps, like, remember, this is for you. This is not for anyone else. This is your time. This is your time to recharge, to really improve yourself. Since most of us are giving and giving and giving to everybody around us, you have to take this time for yourself. And there are going to be times when it is not convenient and you would rather not do it. But you have to remember that this is a cumulative effect. And the more that you do this, the easier it's going to get. And the more you're going to see the differences, and that just cycles into this loving of yourself and being respectful of yourself. Sometimes we have to draw boundaries around us as people are making requests and demands on us, and we give in to those requests and demands. And that's actually a way of disrespecting ourselves. And one thing that I've learned, and I know those who have finished their programs and have been really excited about their results, the thing that they've learned is that it's not just about working out. It's about figuring a way to respect yourself enough to draw the boundaries around yourself so that you can hold to the things that you value, so that you can, go to an event and you can make sure that you're eating in the way that's going to make you feel the best, rather than just eating what everybody else has. And that you're taking that time to wake up early, or to make sure that you get in your workout, even if it's not convenient, because the payoff is going to feel so much better in the end than that temporary payoff in the moment. So if any of our coaches here are coming down hard on you, just know it's because we've been there, and we had people come down hard on us, and we saw, what we could accomplish. And we want the exact same thing for you, because we're just so excited for you and want the best. So, well, good. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let's do a family picture, and then I will post the YouTube video, the link in our RAMP groups, and feel free to review this if you ever need to think about these things again, or get a little refresher. And if you can think of anybody else in your life that needs help with fitness, and would love to see what this conversation is like, feel free to send that link to them. And let's continue to help us and help everybody around us. Okay, ready for our family picture? Oh my gosh, Jesse has a hat. He will not be caught off guard.
No.
I want a hat too. Oh well. Okay. All right, we can just smile. How about smile and wave? There we go. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful.
All right.
I hope that came out right.
I don't know what happened this week.
Right next week. I can't wait to hear how your workout went tomorrow. Be sure to check in with it immediately after your workout. Let us know how it went, even if it's just to say I did it. And I will see you here same time next week.
Yes.
All right. Signing off. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for hosting. Good night.